what tips would you give? Somebody's, because we typically work with clients who are along the line of their journey. They're not typically starting from scratch.
Yeah.
What tips would you share in terms of sort of building the business for them and navigating it in a way that works for them and their values and their families, if they're already halfway through or already 5 years in?
Well, that. In some ways, that's actually a really good time to do it, because what my experience has been is that they've tried and done so much. Some things have worked, some things haven't worked. Typically, family has been, maybe it's just been my experience, but typically family's been the one bit that has taken a hit, or they've not quite got that balanced. So actually getting them to take a little bit of time out and actually it is challenging when you're on the roundabout and you're going anyway and you can't stop it to step away, but actually to create a little bit of time. And I always say to clients when we work, even if it's just an hour, just make sure you get that consistent bit of time in, and actually just take the opportunity to focus on what you want, on the bits that you really want to get out of it in terms of what you want the future would look like, and talk to your family about it. So actually make it fun. Don't make it heavy. I think that's the other bit, is that having a conversation about what you want can be really, really heavy. And someone I used to coach with was saying to me, well, you've got to be really child appropriate. And I'm like, you can have a lot of fun with your children.
Yeah.
And you can make it a really good, fun game where if you were talking about holidays, or we want to travel 2 times a year, right? Okay, tell you what, why don't just everybody write down what 2 times a year looks like and where we'd go? And one of them might be somewhere local and meeting family. One might be going away on our own, but just really enjoy it. But one of the things I do because I also coach people that are coming out of corporate life into starting their own business. And with those people, I say to them, whatever you do, start as you mean to go on.
Yeah.
So the moment you have the thought in your head that you want to leave your job, not when you've left, not when you're leaving, when you have the thought in your head, that's the point in time to start planning it and do it together. Understand, you talk about designing your life and having plan A and what plan B looks like, and knowing that if it all goes to hell in a basket, we know what we can deal with that and how we're going to cope with that. Because if you do it way back then, because I was thinking like 12 months long, probably more than 12 months before I actually ended up leaving my job, you actually create momentum going into your new venture where you've already put in place a load of the foundations that you need to.
Well, it's those stepping stones, isn't it? So you're not hitting it and you're sitting there day one going, what do I do? It's those elements. But I think the interesting thing is, my philosophy is never too late to have a really robust plan in place.
Mm-hmm.
So the phrase that I like is the best time to plan was 10 years ago. The second best time to plan is now.
Yeah.
Because we can't turn back time.
No.
We are where we are, but having a robust plan that you can move forward with from today is the important point, isn't it?
Yes, it is. You're absolutely right. There's no bad time to do it. Right? If you only are where you are, you can't. You're right. You can't. The key thing about the past, and I think what we actually do is we bring too much baggage from the past with us. Oh my God, I had all these bad experiences, all these things went wrong. And actually what we want to do when we're planning going forwards, we want to go back into our past and take the bits that are relevant, the learnings that are relevant, the experiences that are relevant, that have helped us to, which will have or will help us to move forwards. But we get bogged down in fact, well, I planned once before and the plan didn't happen, rather than saying, well, actually, what's the learning from the plan not happening that I can put in place today that means going forwards, I've got a better chance of it actually happening.
And it's really interesting